So this weekend, I was out playing softball at a charity outing, and it was so much fun. And who do I get to meet? An amazing author, and his name is Stephen Miller. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Donna.
How are you?
Great. How about you?
Good, good. That is it Stephen Smith or Stephen Miller?
Miller.
Okay, so I got it right.
You got it right this
All right, so
time.
nothing I have to be nervous about?
No.
Okay, cool. So, Mr. Miller, tell us about your experience as an author. You used to be a cop.
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to be a cop, and it works its way into being an author, but it's just taking the mundane and making it remotely interesting as an author. It's pretty simple.
And I remember that your name really was Miller. You know why?
Why?
They had your name on the back of the jersey.
Yes.
And every time, you play really well.
I used to play when I was
younger.
younger.
So you were a ringer on the celebrity team.
I was a ringer on the celebrity team.
Okay, so from cop to author.
Simple jump, actually. I've been writing since I was a kid, so it became very easy to segue into it.
Really?
Yeah, very simple.
You did well in English?
No, I didn't do well in school at all, but it's just...
You liked it.
It's what I love to do.
And who inspired you to do that?
You know, I can't say anyone in particular. I have my favorite authors who've inspired me. Larry McMurtry is one of them, who I read continually. Any book he ever had, I read. So you nick a little from him and other people, and you go from there.
Now, you said that the 3 books that you have, it has a little bit of a history and it was like 3 parts of something, almost like a recipe, your own secret mix. What is that blend?
It's a strange blend.
Okay.
It's the first novel, which, strangely enough, today as we tape, is in Amazon's top 20 again, and it was released almost 2.5 years ago. You come up with characters and put a story around them, and then what I did was I took the next 2 novels and made them sort of interconnected, and they are told backwards chronologically. So it's...
Was that based after Star Wars? You're like, hey, if
No,
it's good enough
no.
for Lucas, it's good enough for me?
I just didn't know where to go with it, so
Okay.
I went backwards, and it seems to have worked out.
Oh,
So,
congratulations.
thank you.
Now, do you suggest we read it backwards from the back?
well, actually, interestingly enough, the 3 of them are offered together on Amazon.
Okay.
And it's under the Stephen Miller Trilogy, it's called. And a portion of the proceeds, if you buy them together, goes to the ALS Foundation, the Eleanor and Gehrig Foundation. And they're actually formatted, the way that Amazon chose to format it was chronologically. So the last book is actually first.
Okay.
So you would read it chronologically.
Oh, excellent.
Yes.
Now, when you have writer's block, as I've heard often happens, what is your solution?
I walk away from the first book I wrote, Web of Contradiction. I had a tremendous case of writer's block, and I walked away from it for about 2 weeks and came back and read it. It was about halfway done. I reread it and basically deleted 3 chapters and moved on from there. Just, that's the way I deal with it, but, you know, other people have other methods. I walk away.
Okay. And what about the other 2 books, their titles? And
It's A Path Once Taken was the second one, and Distant Innocence is the third one. And Distant Innocence actually had been a screenplay, and it had basically been rejected by everybody. So I didn't know what to do with it, and I reworked it and wrote it as a novel. And not to toot my own horn, but it was one of Amazon's top books of 2013 for fiction.
And you had no idea when you were writing these that this was going to really take a hold, did you?
I had no idea that anyone would even look at them. And quite frankly, I was very coy about it. I didn't want people to look at it because you don't want to be seen as an idiot. You know? If people don't like them, you don't know what to do with it.
Right.
So
you have that moment of introspection where you're just not sure, like, what did I give birth to?
No, you have no idea until you give it to someone in the know or someone who you respect who reads it. And the way I actually went about it is I gave my first book to a friend who I respected very much under the auspices that it was written by somebody else. So he would give me an honest opinion.
King, Richard Bachman
he would give me an honest opinion rather than, you know, your friends don't want to tell you that you stink.
Right.
So it was on basically on his advice that I went and got it published.
Oh, congratulations. Was that hard to get a publisher? Or did you get it
Yes.
self-published? Okay.
Yes. It's very difficult. And you get rejected, and then finally someone takes notice. So then you become published. But it is incredibly frustrating. It really is, between the agents, the publishers, who nobody wants a piece of you. And then finally someone takes notice, and it goes.
And I'd like to talk about that when somebody takes notice, because in the short time I've known you, I know that you're a very humble person. You know, and it's a really adorable quality about you. But as things were becoming a little more successful with this book, what was the moment where you said, "Oh my gosh, like I'm an author"? When did you stand up and say, "I'm an author"?
Actually, it was a combination of things. It was sales. When you get a sales number and you realize that it's not just people you know. When it becomes that, I think there was a humble moment. I mean, you saw it Sunday when people come up and look at the program for the game and ask you for your autograph. It's to me, I don't know. It's very creepy to me because it's the same person that I was just in the parking lot with. So I don't consider anything special other than you're an ordinary person who does something that's not particularly ordinary. That's all.
And where are you going to next? Are there more?
Well, the fourth one is almost done.
Okay.
And that's actually a continuation of the third story. They're all interconnected, and it's in the editing process now. It should be out, I would hope, in the next 2 months.
Well, if you have a winning horse, you just keep running with it.
You just keep going with
right?
it. And there's so many places. I mean, to those who've read it, who are watching, they'll know that there were so many places to take this story that it could. That's one of the reasons I did it. Is it interests me, so I hope it interests everyone else. And
you said it was a screenplay, one of the books.
Right.
Would you entertain offers now if somebody were to say they want to make it into a film?
Sure, I would. I'm not that big on it because I always found that as a reader, to put your own face on people before anyone else got a hold of it was always more enjoyable to me as a reader. And as a writer it is as well, because what I have in my head is quite a bit different than what someone else might have of the characters that I've created.
Oh, wonderful. So it's like a little escape where you can have your own personal experience with a book.
That's what it was reading for me. And as a writer, it's the same way, is that you have your own, you really almost have a relationship with the characters as a writer. And it's funny because people tell me things. You know, I've spoken at things where people have told me things about my characters that I didn't know existed.
Really?
Yeah, and fine. That's great.
They're saying like this character kissed this character behind the moonlight and
there was something in the second book, and I don't want to give it away for someone who's not read it, and something supposedly happened that a reader told me that had never even entered my mind. I didn't write it. But you know what? Keep buying.
Oh, you're so lovely. What a great guy you are. How can people learn more about you? Obviously, Amazon.com, right?
Go to Amazon.com, or I try to keep it pretty simple. If you want to come by Facebook to my author page, check in. It's not done by some publicity or PR people. It's me. If you have a question, if you want to comment. The one thing I do not do reviews. I do not respond to them. I don't, if you want to ask a question about a book, a question about the process, it's the Stephen Miller author page. It's just me.
And what about book signing for charity? Would you be willing to do a book signing for charity?
Absolutely. Like I said, even with the trilogy that they put them together, if you can't give back, why bother?
Beautiful. You know? Oh, so nice. All right. So I like that. I had fun. Now I'm going to go home and read all 3 books.
Great.
Stay tuned for more on Live It Up. We're always bringing you authors and people in the entertainment industry and businesses making a difference. Thanks so much for watching.